We're gonna try this thing again. Hopefully the buzz sound is not happening. In the meantime, welcome to Hey Rockstar mini-sode. This one is titled, I'm a Poet and You Didn't Know It. Let me try something out real quick. Let's see what it sounds like on YouTube. Ooh, I got a message from Alex. Can't hear it. Test one. Cool. There's no buzz. That's the main thing I was trying to avoid, the buzz sensation that happens. It's probably a little louder than we want it to be, but let's get this untangled from me. Get off of me! Get off of me! All right. I guess the music's over, and let's go ahead and take off these shades. And take off this since I can't hear music anymore. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Motivation Monday. It's Hey Rockstar mini-sode. I am a poet and you didn't even know it. Let's work on this little. I think it's a little bit too loud, but y'all let me know if the buzzing starts again. I hope that didn't do anything. The only way I know how to do this is by getting on here. I got a comment from somebody. Well, I know I'm already live. Cool. Let's go ahead. All right, so y'all, last Thursday, episode 44 was a killer episode with Eli Emiliano, and man, we went on a great conversation. But towards the end, we were talking about a serious. We were talking about the seriousness of being a performer in church atmospheres, in like a church setting. Him and I, at least the way we grew up, that sometimes it's kind of like a drug hit. It was a dopamine high that we get from performing or ministering, if you would. But I know a lot of people are probably like going to take that in the wrong sense. I'm not saying that that's what you're going through, but that's the kind of the sense that I went through in my performance aspect. But we were trying to find the counterbalance between when it's okay to receive thank you from people who are genuinely appreciative of what you bring to them, given in your music or given in your message or the way you present things as a speaker. I love hearing that the words that were inspired for me, that I studied and prepared for, were something relevant that people can take and run with and use for their benefit. But I got to thinking, and instead of going to Instagram to find like the old stuff and, just highlight some Motivation Mondays, I remembered almost a year or 2 years ago, I used, well, actually longer than that, I used to write poetry. I used to write poems, and I still do. As a songwriter, you have a way to rhyme and reason certain lyrics and certain words. But out of just fun and being dumb and being in the spirit of who I am, I wrote two in particular that I want to share with you guys today. And I guess I should have started my 11 minutes of what's it called? 11 minutes of value. So let it start. Your Hey Rockstar 11 minutes of value start. Well, before I push the button. Hi, my name is Josafat Emiliano. I'm a host of Hey Rockstar, along with Miguel, my co-host, who is chilling out right back there. We have a show that comes live every Thursday at 5:55 Central, where we try to bring in guests who share stories, who bring value, so that my audience can take this value, apply it to their disciplines, to help them, first of all, detach from failures, so that then they can take ownership of their lives, develop the right mindset to then become the rock star of their industry. And all we do is share stories of what people have gone through. And I'll share personal stories. As a matter of fact, this week I had a guest back out, so it's just probably gonna be you and me, which we'll see what we'll come up with. But for now, for the next 11 minutes that start right now, I want to share 2 poems that I wrote once upon a time. You're in for a treat. I got them saved here in my phone. In the meantime, how's everyone doing? Still no buzz, right? You probably hear like the static noise or the white noise, whatever it's called. I'll be able to edit that later, hopefully. But where are you? I guess I should have done better. I should have done better at preparing these poems for you guys. I wrote them several years ago, so they're not like at the top of my list of things that I've written on my Evernote, which is okay. I remember one was called A Poem by Josafat Emiliano. Okay, found the second one I want to read to you guys. Okay, here it is. It's called A Poem by Josafat Emiliano. Oh my gosh, you'll never believe what happened. So, I've been going out on dates a lot recently. Okay, well, not that many, really. So, I've been going out on dates recently. Oh, geez. I don't want to mislead you. So, okay, the one date. I went out on a date. Yeah, I'm using the word out incorrectly. My date and I stayed in the other night. Okay, darn my integrity here. My date really wasn't a person, but more like my cat. Yeah, I know, but I promise that was the last lie. My cat and I watched a movie about dogs. Okay, no, sorry, bad habit. It was a movie about elves, but it wasn't a Christmas movie. Okay, yeah, you got me. It totally was a Christmas movie. I need to stop lying. It's almost Christmas. I need to stop lying because it's almost Christmas and Santa could be watching. So I watched the movie that night, and it was a good movie, and that's no lie. And this is not a poem. And also, I don't have a cat. Fiend. That was it. That was, I felt inspired, and I wrote that poem or whatever. It was pretty much a long-winded joke, but the title of it is called a poem. And whenever I share with people, they kind of like that. They kind of like the silliness, but the creativeness and the fact that it really had no rhyme or reason, was no rhythm, whatever. Don't worry, I actually have a reason why I wanted to start with a light thing, because later on, and this triggered, or this memory was reminded from the conversation that Eli and I were having on the show last week. If you didn't catch the show, the podcast version released earlier today around noon. So if you want to go to Hey Rockstar, the podcast, and go type in episode 44, interview with a rock star, special guest Eli Emiliano. It's a tremendous talk. He brought some good stuff to the table, and plus he's such a eloquent, gifted speaker. But once he got into, and then yes, he goes into the message of grace, but it's such a refreshing, much needed, inspirational words of truth that are very timely, and I encourage you guys to go check it out. But we also him and I being pastors' kids, we grew up in a lot of the same atmospheres, a lot of the same elements. We had to wear a lot of the same hats musically, and also in performance and leadership roles. But as we were ending that, the difference between him and I is he still does enjoy ministry. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy ministry. My ministry, my calling was in a different platform that I'm doing today, that I believe God is using me in that arena. But this one was more of a serious, if you see, show you there, it's called I Am an Addict. I am an addict. So it's talking about addiction. So go ahead and brace yourself. It's gonna get serious, but I wrote this. And then we'll talk a little bit more about what the Spirit led, or what I was feeling when I shared this. So I Am an Addict by Josafat Emiliano. I am an addict. This is my secret. A secret I've kept well. I'm not addicted to alcohol. It's gross, expensive. It makes me do stupid things. I'm not addicted to smoking. Again, expensive, and leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I like taste. I like to taste my food. I'm not addicted to food because I fast. I'm not addicted to sex. I like it, but again, not addicted. I'm not addicted to porn either. I think it's just bad movie making, lazy storytelling. Look at me. You can't tell. Look at me. You can't tell I have an addiction. You can't tell that I'm hurting. I'm suffering. I'm lost. I'm not happy. I found the one coping mechanism that masks all my negatives. And people applaud my use of this substance. Religion is what I choose to abuse. I can control my emotions and actions with it. I dress myself with its traditions. People don't notice my imperfections anymore because I religion very well. I'm not addicted to social media because mine is filled with religious jargon. Religion is the best addiction to have. And the best part is, no one sees my addiction because I act the way they like. I sing the songs they like. I say the words they like. I dress the way they like. They're not addicts, and I'm just like them. They think I'm normal. Yes, I am normal. I am an addict. I don't mean to offend anyone. That is just what came from the heart. You see, because what we were sharing in our talk in episode 44 is that a lot of us would use that hit of performance of doing something religiously acceptable. It was within the boundaries that people would allow us to express ourselves. So we played that role well in order to get praise, in order to get applause, in order to get attention. It was a domain that controlled me. I learned to play that game very well when I was trying to be a people pleaser. And the funny thing is, it was in my trying to express myself through whatever I was called to do. Even though I went and I started with plan A and I did what everyone expected me to do, within these confounded walls of religion, of my traditions, and I played it well, but I wasn't happy. And then I went on to plan B, which is just staying busy. And that's when I went and started traveling the world under the name of religion. And I was helping others. I was doing good works, y'all. I was definitely, it wasn't a waste of time. I was helping my fellow men. I was doing what was written in the scriptures. But I was working totally out of context because the action, the attitude, and the spirit that I was doing it, I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't fulfilled within me that I had to keep on going and going, because I kept hoping, well, maybe this next hit will help. Maybe this next hit. And I was going for the hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. And after 5 years, y'all, I burnt out. I couldn't understand why I wasn't finding satisfaction in doing what was accepted of me in the religious confoundments in this. But being alone, being separated from my teachers, from the ministers that were influencing me, my family, and all this stuff, and I had to start searching for myself. I had to go to the actual book, to the actual Bible, and I had to say, God, I need you to talk to me to this. I need to know what I want to believe in you, and I want to believe in the truth. Help me find my truth. Help me find my path to you. Help me find my way to you. Alone, separated from everyone, I need to learn to trust in you, not in what was taught to me, not in what was expressed that I needed to act a certain way, but I wanted to be truly led by your spirit. And it was in that experiment when I was finally free. And that's what grace allows you to do, is to just be, accept that you are loved, accept that you have been made holy for a reason, accept that no matter what you do with your abilities, God will be honored, because that is how he created you to do. And when you take that boldness and start going out there and start expressing and experimenting and getting to know who you were created to be, there's such a freedom in that aspect, and there's no longer an addiction. You know, a friend of mine, and I might go a little longer, a friend of mine once said something that he was addicted to a certain substance, a certain drug. And he knew that he was genuinely free when he could go back, when he was free from this substance, when he could go back into the same room, into the same arena with the same people that he used to be with, and it no longer held him. It no longer called out to him. And I didn't understand that at the time, but now I do. I know what it's like to go into a religious environment where people are constantly trying to prove themselves to God, and not be affected by that, because I no longer have to prove anything. I have been accepted. I have been adopted. I am now part of the lineage and heritage and the heritage that is coming towards me. I am a child of the blessing. I'm a beloved person, so I can now walk in that assurance. I can walk into any religious environment. I can walk into any kind of traditional practices, and I can experience a beautiful moment with God. It doesn't control me. It doesn't force me to act a certain way, because I have been set free from my addiction of religion. I have been set free from my dopamine hit of receiving, of having to find some kind of praise or some kind of acknowledgement through religious practices. Now what I do for the glory of God, because I know who I am, and I'm a free person. Anyway, that was what I wanted to share with you guys. Just what was shared in episode 44. A powerful, so far one of my favorites. I mean, I've had some great conversations with some great leaders, with great influential people, with people who've gone out of their way to create their stories. There's a lot of good value in the guests that I brought in, but I got to say episode 44, just because we took it back to church, but into a freedom set mindset, that it was just refreshing to have that conversation with Emiliano. It was a good one. So I encourage you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, to go back to watch episode 44 or listen to the podcast, episode 44. It's out today. This Thursday. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about this Thursday. Maybe I'll have a surprise guest. I'm going to try to do those things. But other than that, we're coming to the end of season 1 of Hey Rockstar. Next month is our birthday for the Hey Rockstar that we have been around for 1 year. I might take a few weeks off, and then because we also have conference. My church has conference here around that time, and a lot's gonna be happening during those weeks. So I might just take that week off, or maybe 2 weeks off to work and serve my church, and then get back, and we will launch season 2 around the Thursday after the birthday. Or I might actually just do a special show on the 29th, which is the day that we started last year. Other than that, thank you all for joining. Thank you for checking out Hey Rockstar mini-sode. I'm a poet, and you didn't even know it. So just thank you for your love, your support thus far, and for those of you who have hung out to this end. So we'll see you Thursday at 5:55 Central on this same channel. If you haven't yet, if you're new to this channel, please do the thing, show the love, the support, and share with everyone else. We got some more value coming to you guys. So until next time, I'm Josafat Emiliano. Miguel's back there chilling, and we just hope that you take all this value, apply it to your disciplines, and go and become the rock star of your industry. Until next time, much love and many blessings.